We are here today on Mother's Day with Jean Crowder, and if you could just again introduce yourself for us, please, Jean.
I'm Jean Crowder, and I'm the Member of Parliament for Nanaimo-Cowichan.
Great, thank you. I understand that you rearranged your schedule for today's event.
I did.
Can you tell us why that was important to you?
Well, I think that the real meaning of Mother's Day is a message that has to get out to people, and because the world is in such chaos with so many armed conflicts going on, I think it's an important message for people to hear.
Great. And you've always known the original meaning behind Mother's Day?
No, I didn't always know. I don't recall when I learned it. It's been with me for a number of years now, but it certainly wasn't part of what I knew in the early days.
So what did you learn about it later, and what inspired you to be more active in its original meaning?
Yeah, well, I've been involved with the peace movement for many years, and I think that it really will be women and men standing together, but women really are taking a lead on this. We've got the woman in the States who's been standing quietly alone for a long time, and I think that this is part of women standing, bringing that message out.
And you've spoken very candidly on the topic of electoral reform here in Canada, suggesting that issues of gender discrimination and regional divisiveness are amongst some of the problems bestowed on Canadians, from the early democratic era. And then also, I'm familiar with Edward Broadbent, and he's posed this question I'd like to ask you. Why, when democracy previously implied the increasing equality among citizens, does it no longer have that effect?
It's a complicated answer, but I'll give it a shot. Part of it is that I think we have spent a lot of time dumbing down politics, and people actually literally used to drive in a cart and buggy hours to take part in debate, and we have made some assumptions that people aren't smart enough to do that. And we've started that distancing people from their politics, and I think we have to reclaim it at the community level. And that's the way we're going to take democracy back for us.
It's beautiful. So does bringing awareness of Mother's Day then can that serve as a catalyst for something like this?
Absolutely, because it is women standing in community, shoulder to shoulder, with a message that they want to deliver to the world. And I don't know if you're familiar with the Millionth Circles. The Millionth Circles are trying to gather women all over the world. They want to have 1,000,000 circles sitting in peace. And if you have 1,000,000 circles sitting in peace, you can imagine the kind of impact and message that would have on communities.
Oh, absolutely, and that's exactly what Anna Reeves Jarvis did back in her day. And that's the reason we're really here today, to bring kind of a new meaning to this era, right? Would you say that's true?
I think that's absolutely true. And I mean, you're getting all these individual women standing up around the world because they know if they take action and get enough of their sisters to join with them and their brothers, that we do have an opportunity to make things different. There are more of us than them.
Yes. And you're known for standing up for a variety of women's issues as a woman in Parliament. So what seeds would you like to leave behind?
Well, my goal is part of what I do right now is I go out and talk to high schools. And part of my goal is to make sure that when I leave this job that a young woman replaces me. And I think that it's passing that message amongst young women that again, it's about grassroots community. And if we can get young women to see that they have a viable role to play in the political system, then I think we have a chance of changing things.
And so you're here today to kind of help bring back the original meaning of Mother's Day, and that's kind of the same message, isn't it?
Well, it's the original meaning of Mother's Day, but the ancient Greek women also, of course, there was that play, which I don't remember the name of it, but there was a play where the women basically said, no sex until you stop fighting. So, I mean, that's the short version of the play. But so women have been doing this for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And of course, in the States, in the 1870s, I think this piece was written on Mother's Day. It was, again, times of conflict.
Right, so coming here today, we hope that we can broaden the message with your involvement. Do you realize that this could be really a huge thing, and you being a part of that? And how does that feel, just to know that you're a leader of the pack, really, in a lot of ways?
Actually, I actually am humbled by it, and I'm very privileged to be in a place where I have a chance to say these words. And I think that I am only here because community people support me. And I hope never to lose sight of that.
That's great. Is there any other last words of encouragement you'd like to put out there for the people of the world?
Yes, it can be done. It is absolutely doable by us standing together. There are way more people out there who are interested in peace than there are who are interested in war. And if we stood together, we can make a difference.
That's beautiful. And you're familiar with what we're going to be doing today with the Minute of Silence.
Right.
Are you familiar with the story of how that came to be?
No, I'm not actually.
Two grandmothers were standing in a park and were kind of a laughingstock. And then that message came to be understood that they were standing for peace.
Right.
So in a way, we might be doing that today. And so I think just with your involvement and just people coming together, we can make a huge difference. So I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be part of this.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you would like to add?
Just a point that the men and women in Duncan have been sitting at the train station for peace for several months now. And we started it back last year when the bombings were happening with Israel. And we all were so upset about what was happening and felt so powerless that we thought we had to make a statement. So a group of us started sitting at the train station. We gathered every Friday at 11:30 and just sat quietly for half an hour. And it kind of went away when the weather got really bad over the winter time, but it started up again. So each community can do something that they think can make a difference.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.